This bout is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 165 pounds, holds a record of 6 wins with 3 losses, and represents Advantage Martial Arts in Princeton, West Virginia, Josh Hill. And his opponent across the cage to my right, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 166 pounds, holds an undefeated record of 3 wins with 0 losses, and represents American Killer Bees in Cleveland, Tennessee, David Robbins. Your referee when the action begins is Jimmy Neely.
Jimmy Neely, our referee in this vacant Valor Middleweight Muay Thai Championship bout presented by Chips Transmissions. Winner gets the belt. Josh Hill in the white trunks, David Robbins in the black trunks. 3 2-minute rounds in Chattanooga Valor Fights 45, and we're underway.
And here we go. Josh Hill coming out in the southpaw stance. David Robbins, the orthodox. And as I mentioned, Hill, the much more traditional style. Robbins, more of the Dutch style with more head movement and angles. But thus far, it's just been slanging and banging here.
And David Robbins promised leading up to this that, hey, we got our feel-out rounds out of the way when we sparred in the gym. We're going to get after it from the get-go. So it canceled out advantage having seen each other, right, in that sparring session?
Yeah, I think it helps with the adrenaline a little bit too. You know, you're used to that person, so when you get under the lights, it's going to allow you guys to open up more right out of the gate.
Hill feeling good about that one.
Yeah, now you mentioned before, you know, David Robbins at the UMAF Nationals. Hill was also there. He competed in an exhibition Muay Thai matchup. Not really exhibition, but not part of the tournament. And he was utterly dominant in his performance.
Yeah, beat Zach Fox. That was earlier this year. Nice straight right by Robbins. And Robbins said about his opponent, Hill, he said, in addition to the traditional Thai style, he has heavy hands, quick, long guards, throws from a distance, long knees, very strong, good kicks, and long knees down the center.
Oh, there it is. David Robbins closing the distance off that kick. Beautiful counter with the right hand.
Said Hill has strong clinch game as well. Final seconds, good kick
Boy,
to
that
the body.
left kick is so powerful. Josh Hill really knows how to throw him in there. Now David Robbins closing the distance here. It was a very, very close round. Robbins perhaps looking to steal it. Josh Hill catches and trips Robbins up there in the closing moments.
So how do you score that?
That's a really, really close round. You know, the kicking prowess, I think, goes to Josh Hill, man. He was really throwing it in there. But at the same time, you had a beautiful counter, that counter right hand by David Robbins. That was the most, I think, dominant move of the fight. I mean, that is really a coin toss. I'm going to give it to David Robbins because, like I said, the only time either fighter was on the run was in that instance.
You see Chelsea, one of our beautiful ring girls here tonight. Valor Fights 45 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Great to have you with us. Vince Ferrara, Casey Oxendine. We are cage side at Brainerd High School in Chattanooga. And Casey, take us to the
And you
replay.
see it there. David Robbins closing the distance, continuing to toll forward. That catch and sweep by Josh Hill.
How much will that get scored in Muay Thai?
I don't know if it's so much of a scoring as much as it is a moral victory.
Right.
Anytime you make a fighter go down and have to stand back up, you're in control. So you have momentum going your way.
David Robbins stepping out of the MMA realm into this Muay Thai bout. He is undefeated in Muay Thai and looking to take home the middleweight championship in Valor Fights, and we're underway in round 2, 3 2-minute rounds.
Now, something different here is the 3 2-minute rounds. In mixed martial arts, obviously, it's 3 3-minute rounds, so it's short and sweet, as much as you can get in those 2-minute sessions. Beautiful teep there by David Robbins.
Both guys have done that, just straight up the middle with kicks.
There, David Robbins starting to find his placement there. But Josh Hill, very, very powerful and strong. You can't sleep on him whatsoever. Stiff left hand by Josh Hill.
Trip again, and Robbins right back up.
In Muay Thai action, they call it the warrior spirit. If you go down and pop right back up, you're not going to get a count.
Robbins went for the head kick.
Now Josh Hill again with that left kick, man.
That might be the single most powerful strike for either guy in their offense.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Now that being said, look at the discoloration under the right rib cage of Josh Hill. Now, as I say it, he is closing the distance. Lands a stiff left on David Robbins.
Corner wanting David Robbins.
Oh, beautiful combination by David Robbins.
Hill, long legs, man. Can get to Robbins from a distance.
Oh, again, that resonates. Now, how much does that score?
Right. Yeah,
because it is blocked, but it certainly still doesn't feel good.
You see the body of Hill, especially on his right side. And they'll punch through. Intend to touch glove. They kind of had some miscommunication there, but the intent was there. But so how would you score that second round?
I'm going to give the second round to David Robbins as well because I think it was a little more refined. Now, that being said, the first round was very, very close. So that doesn't mean it's a clean sweep for David. I think some of the judges may have called it for Josh Hill. So going into the third, I think both fighters really need to be on their game and finish big. Exactly. Combinations like that right there. Finish with the left head kick. He's placing his strikes a little bit better, though I haven't seen Josh Hill hurt yet in this matchup.
David Robbins on the stool where Hill's standing up. There's different schools of thought on that for sure. You like the stand-up part of it.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes. Sometimes you want to make a mark on your opponent. You want to have a moral victory there. Other times, you're not even thinking that way. You're just trying to get those legs up and the blood flowing. So I think it just depends on what situation you're in.
All right, we're ready for round number 3, scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds. You saw Jacinda, one of our ring girls here tonight. Dr. Nathan Elliott is our fight doctor. The cut man is Mark Laws. We're underway here in round 3.
All right, and I feel like this will be the round. And you see these guys clash right there in the center with beautiful exchanges. They don't want to leave it to the judges.
And now the clinch for Hill, and Jimmy Neely breaks them up. Well, early in the round, it looked like maybe David Robbins wanted to throw the hands a little bit more. Going back to the body, though, with kicks.
Yeah, beautiful combinations by both of these fighters. Josh Hill making that pressure forward, and David Robbins with the double underhook there.
Yep. David Robbins, when you talk the sport with him, he was so knowledgeable. That's why he is the head coach of American Killer Bees. Just can break it all down so well.
Yeah, and because he's the head coach, he's been there for a while. He's been with a lot of different weight classes and worked with a lot of different styles of fighters. Beautiful glancing left hook there. Fading back, another stiff tee, but man, Josh Hill makes him pay for it. And now he goes to work with that clinch work. David Robbins near the cage there. 30 seconds left in this round and in this fight.
And David Robbins may want to have a flurry here late so he can influence the judges.
Oh, and there it is, a catch and a counter. The stature of Josh Hill, so strong, man, his presence. Whereas David Robbins prefers the numbers.
The volume,
Yeah.
And really, that's what I think. It's either the power and the pressing style of Hill versus the volume of Robbins and the judges.
And I think that's what's going to make the difference. I think that David was unwilling to just stand in front of Hill and bang tit for tat. And Hill was unable to keep the angles on. I think David took the fight. That being said, it is a judge's perspective there. Who knows how they were judging this fight and which way it's going to go.
So would you say 29-28?
Let's say 29-28
Yeah.
across the board. But, I mean, we could have a split, and we could have it either direction. You don't know. I picked David Robbins just on sheer volume.
Here's a replay here, Casey.
There it is. You see the teep, but then, Hill follows up, and he's just, so tough there. I mean, that was a good push.
David finished with a nice flurry at the end, though. Nice
He sure
little
did.
combo.
Absolutely. Hats off to both of these fighters. Pure Muay Thai is not for the meek of heart. It's a tough sport. Some believe even tougher than MMA because there's nowhere to go. You stand there and you absorb the punishment and you deliver back.
Great group of judges tonight. Lisa Duran, Cody Gwynn, Rob Alexander, and timekeeper Tiffany Jenkins tonight. And, of course, thanks to Valor Fights President Tim Loy, who does an amazing job in putting great cards together. David Robbins actually has helped out with amateur matchmaking with Valor Fights in the past and was exceptional at that as well. But he is focusing on his career, his team that continues to grow and have great success. And we'll see David in the amateur MMA ranks and probably not too far away from the pro move as well, but still work to be done. He'd like to take some gold home here tonight with the Muay Thai middleweight championship at Valor Fights. His camp is undefeated tonight. American Killer Beast, a 0 to the right on their record tonight. It's been quite the night for American Killer Bees. Joseph Long with a victory. Nathan King with a victory. Logan Neal, who, you talk about performance of the night, Logan Neal might have been as impressive as anyone here tonight at Valor Fights 45 in the amateur portion of our card. And David Robbins, if he gets the decision on the scorecards, would make it 4-0 for American Killer Bees so far tonight. All right.
After 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for decision. All 3 judges scored this fight in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And your new Valor's Muay Thai middleweight kickboxing champion, out of the red corner, Josh Hill.
Wow, Josh Hill with the victory. All close rounds, so you just never know.
Josh,
And Casey
let's
with a
talk
winner.
a little bit, man. What a fight, man. It was a different style there. David Robbins, known for moving more. He was looking at the volume. You stood steady throughout the fight. That traditional style, throwing those massive left kicks, landing to the body, into the legs. Talk about this matchup.
Now my mouth is dry. All right, I knew going in that he had a lot of MMA in particular experience, and that's a very different style of striking than you can get away with using in a pure Muay Thai situation. So I knew I would get taken down in the MMA fight, and he would be thinking about getting taken down in the MMA fight, and I could use tactics that he wouldn't be used to seeing.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, I heard through the grapevine that you guys met previously. You guys have had a little bit of experience in a sparring session out in Nashville, and you just happened upon it. And you got a little bit of work together, but I'm certain it was nowhere near what we saw in here. Talk about that perspective, what you got there, and how it played out here inside the cage.
You know, it was a lot closer to this pace than you would think. I think we were throwing down by the end of those 5 rounds. We were really moving. But David and I, both being pretty experienced guys, aren't in a position where we can just get mentally angry at every person we fight. You gotta be able to separate having a fight from like being angry at somebody, because otherwise you just exhaust yourself emotionally. And that's what that let us do. Get to know each other, and the other guy's not a bad guy, but you gotta punch him in the face.
Absolutely. Well, all that said and done, you are the Valor Fights Muay Thai middleweight champion. I got to ask you, what is next?
I don't know, this was the last fight I got booked for the year so far.
Well, that being said, have a great holiday season. One more time for your Valor Fights middleweight Muay Thai champion, Josh Hill.
So congrats to Josh Hill, the new Valor middleweight Muay Thai champion.